Okay, let's get down to business. Okay, the first item here is a CAO's report on traffic concerns on 2nd Avenue and 72nd and 68th Avenue. City is in receipt of the report, and council is being asked at this point to accept the recommendation of a four-way stop. Councillor. And a seconder?
I'll second it for discussion.
Councillor Cron. And discussion on that, Councillor Wershagen.
Mr. Mayor, I'm not sure if I'm in order or out of order when it comes to precedence and motions, but I would like to see it dealt with separately. And if I could make a motion to split.
To split this motion in half?
Yeah.
Councillor Doherty made the motion. Councillor Doherty, do you see his point here? He'd like to, there's a four-way stop proposed at 2nd and 68th. That's by the dollar store.
Yeah.
And then
that's
the other.
72nd.
That's right, that's 72nd.
Oh, 68.
The 68th is Interforce.
Okay, sorry. You're
Okay,
right.
yeah.
I get mixed up. Okay, but there's the one by the dollar store and the
Okay,
other
that's
one.
the one I'm going to put in the motion on that.
Okay,
It's only a second.
and
That'll
And
split.
second, yeah.
and the seconder
Okay.
for that was Councillor Krog.
Okay.
So this is just that one at the Inter-4 corner.
So that's-
Councillor Krog, Councillor Doherty makes the motion. You're accepting it?
Yes.
Okay. So
That was-
that's the discussion now, is that intersection at Inter-4. Open for discussion.
Excuse me, clarification. You keep referring to the intersection at Interfor. That's not 72nd.
It's 68.
Yeah.
See,
There's-
that's what
That's
I
what
want.
we're talking about.
That's one.
Okay.
Yeah, there's
68 and 2nd is on the table.
Yeah, can I speak to
Councillor
that?
Krog.
The reason it went from the previous four-way stop was the amount of traffic, not just the traffic, but the amount of damage to the road. I do drive that road a lot, and I have seen that it worked. Like there's every year that road was just torn up. So since they had given the main road the right of way, it's been way better. And so I would, even though I second it for discussion, I'm going to speak against changing that. The public is used to it, and yes, there are near misses. The other day I watched a lady just cluelessly drive in front of a logging truck, and I'm like, okay, a logging truck driver's looking at me. It doesn't matter where you are, whether it's two-way or four-way. It's not the sign that does it. You have to be ready for anything. If it was a four-way stop, that truck still could have gone through. Right? So I don't think it's going to take away the potential for near misses, but it's going to cost us a lot more money to keep repairing that road when it seems to be basically working for what it is. And I believe that there's going to be some diversion of traffic off that road, maybe straight into the Roxo plants.
Thank you. Councillor Doherty speaking to the motion. You made it.
The motion that I was I put in was for at the dollar store.
He was talking about.
The dollar store.
Oh, okay.
That's
well.
Okay.
This is what the.
Okay. Well, can we back this up a bit? I'm sorry,
Okay.
Dan.
My motion was for the four-way stop at
72nd
and second.
and
At
2nd.
the dollar
Okay.
store.
Save that thought, Councillor Krog. You made a strong point there in terms of the damage to the pavement, but on the table is a motion by Councillor and a second by
And
Councillor Krog.
second that, and I do want to speak to it, but
Okay,
make her.
so Councillor Doherty is
should
clear at
have
this
first.
point, and the table is open to discuss. This is the dollar store corner. Councillor Smith.
Thank you, Your Worship.
I'm wondering if this would actually not be a very good opportunity to investigate putting a roundabout in there. It's effective. I mean, these things are all over the world. In England, there's virtually no lights anymore because all traffic is controlled by the use of roundabouts. It's effective in slowing traffic without stopping it. It relieves congestion.
Okay, so you're speaking against the motion that you would like to propose that we look at an alternative
Yes,
after we dispose of this?
Yes. Thank you.
Councillor Wishagan?
I believe Councillor Crowe.
No, that's
Are you
fine.
sure?
Yeah.
I too, I suppose, speaking against the motion, I actually like that idea. However, I think a four-way stop might be too simplistic. I would like to look at maybe an idea of lowering the speed limit downtown, maybe to 30, moving a couple parking spots on either side of the road to increase byline with traffic. I do like the 30. I don't want to shoot down the four-way stop in case we need to do it. Without any discussion, I would maybe like to refer this back to staff to look at alternate options.
Okay, if the motion's on the table, we could deal with the motion and then you could make a motion to refer.
I would maybe would not want to preclude a four-way stop from being in that report, though. Like,
as an option.
yes, by dismissing this and dealing with this motion and not
Right.
with referral, we're removing that as one of the options.
Okay, and I understand that.
Okay.
Further comments, Councillor Wires?
And I have this very similar request. I believe in the interim that we might need a four-way stop while staff investigates the cost of an alternative roundabout for that intersection. But I wouldn't like to see the four-way stop eliminated from the table altogether tonight.
As an option.
Yeah.
Okay, Councillor Krog.
I like the idea. I'm a fan of roundabout, so we've gone from four-way stop to roundabout. I believe that we should be looking at that. One of the options was for a traffic study, an expensive traffic study. And you know what? I think the people that live here kind of already know we don't really need professionals to tell us, so I think we can kind of figure it out. One thing that was missing from this is this intersection right here came forward with the concept of a four-way stop. I've seen more near miss with pedestrians than I've ever seen near misses with vehicles. Now, I was going to propose before, because roundabout didn't even click in for a minute, I was going to propose that we look at traffic calming by the use of four-way stops, or not even four-way stops, don't even use that word, all-way stops. Like I've just been traveling in a lot of different areas of Canada and the U.S., and we just went through Whitefish, and they have a system. I grew up in Cloverdale, and they have a four-way system. You can get from one end of the town to the other end through grid of four-way systems, and it slows people down. So there's that benefit, and it's easy.
Okay,
Right,
we're kind of drifting a bit.
Yeah, we are. To the right.
We need to deal with this motion on the
Okay.
table right now, which is
Can I
put one
resolve this
in right away.
motion?
Well, let's
Pardon?
Okay, we're going to vote on it anyway.
Okay, well, we can either vote on this motion or we can modify the motion.
Okay, we'll modify the motion.
So Councillor Doherty is going to, asking to remove the motion from the floor. And the seconder agrees.
Removing it from
Is
the
to
floor.
put the four-way
or-
stop in, and I think what we're going to do is ask for a further report on options
Yeah.
on that corner,
Yeah.
including the possibility of the four-way stop. But
Yeah.
look at
We
the
can
other
just
options.
refer it back to staff. We don't have to have them remove this from the table. Refer this back to staff, asking for a report as well as other options.
Right, but there was a motion on the table,
Yeah,
that's
there's a
all.
motion.
Well, to refer something, there has to be a motion. It's a main motion, and to refer would be a secondary motion to the main one.
Okay, well, Councillor Doherty has removed his motion from the floor. Do we need to vote on removing a motion from the floor once it's been seconded?
How
Okay.
about if I muddy the water just a little bit further?
By suggesting that you defer the decision and refer the matter back to staff,
Yeah.
and we'll come back with a more in-depth report.
Okay.
That's right.
Motion to defer. Councillor Crog?
Can that request to staff, which is going to include alternates, also include the looking at the intersection of 12?
Can we do both of those in this motion? Do you want to make it that? Councillor Crog is asking to include another intersection.
Your worship, because we have taken this resolution and split it in half, and we still have 68th and 2nd hanging out there, if we are going to have one for 5th and 72nd, could we just make it a third motion? It's much cleaner that way.
Certainly. Okay. Okay, so this motion is to defer this item back. All those in favor? Okay, and dealing with the other motion, Councillor Crog, before we go on to 68th and 2nd.
Just that referral back to staff, that they also look at including this intersection in any, plans, decisions, whatever.
And a seconder for that, Councillor Wershagen. Any discussion?
Yeah. I could be wrong, Mr. Mayor, but I believe for some reason it rings a bell. 4 years ago, when we first were elected here in 2008, Councillor Thompson and Councillor Robert at the time brought up that intersection, and I think there was a motion put on the books to turn from 72nd down into City Park into a one-way. I believe Councillor Robert brought up the idea of a four-way stop there was defeated. So I actually believe there currently is a motion on the books to deal with an intersection.
It was defeated, I recall that.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's on the, we're just asking for it to be included in consideration. We don't have to decide to do anything with it.
Okay.
Yeah, and just on that note and I followed that discussion of the one-way, but that's not the problem.
No.
It's the T intersection, so even eliminating the one into the park wouldn't have solved it.
Okay,
It's
this is
the hill.
rolling it into the considerations. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. And the other half of the motion now, which is 68th, do we put a four-way stop in there or not? Councillor Wershagen.
I will move to put a four-way stop in there.
And a seconder for that. Ooh, nobody's jumping up there. Four-way stop at 68th, putting it back in. Can't get a seconder on it.
Yes, you did.
Any alternate
Second
motions?
it, because again, I think it deserves some discussion.
Okay, you've seconded it. It's on the floor. Councillor Smith, you're...
Again, I think there's an opportunity to modify that, but again, a roundabout could go in there to,
big trucks.
well, I don't know, something other than a four-way stop. There's a way to slow traffic down as opposed to having it rifling through that intersection. Or stopping it altogether.
Okay, the motion is to put it on there.
So I say again, just like we just disposed of this last one, is that we refer it back to staff.
Are you... you seconded his motion, so for you to make a motion to defer now doesn't seem like kosher.
Well, however we did it the last time, I'd just like to see that done again.
We had some discussion here first. Councillor Crog, then
So
Councillor...
all the points that I said before, everybody
Yeah, we
remember,
remember
so I don't
them.
have to go back
You don't.
over that? Okay. Something's happened lately, and it's affected the whole community, which was the big blowdown, the wind trees, everything like that. That intersection has created a higher visibility than it's ever been. So that's another plus for just leaving it the way it is, because it's even more visible now. So there should be even less near misses. So I speak against the motion. I would support the status quo there.
Councillor Wires.
I too speak against the motion. Quite frankly, I travel that road several times a day, and if anything, it's Jasper Avenue where they don't even stop to come out onto 2nd as well. Plus the Ruckle entrance there. I mean, it's just drivers' bad habits in this community, and for the big logging trucks and the volume of trucks that are coming through that intersection, to make them have to stop, to revert back to something that we've corrected 4 years ago. It's a working corner, and as Councillor Krog indicated, there is a number of trees that have been pulled out of there now, where that older house is, and Interfor has cleaned up the ones that came down on their property as well.
Thank you. Beat it up enough? Question? All those in favor? Opposed? Just a minute, you didn't vote for your own motion.
Well, yeah, I would like to. I'm in favor.
All those in favor? All those opposed? Okay, motion is
I would like
defeated.
my vote recorded,
Yes.
please.
Okay, thank you, council. That is dealing with those items. The city is in receipt of a correspondence from the Ministry of Forest Lands and Natural Resources on the updated master plan for the Phoenix Mountain, and we are being asked at this point to support the proposed master plan. Can I have that motion? Councillor Wershagen, seconder. Come on, guys. We don't, Councillor Doherty. Discussion. Have you read it?
Yeah.
Pretty motherhood.
Yeah.
Was-
Councillor Smith.
I'm just curious, was it a motion to support it or to receive it?
Well,
I thought you said support.
yeah, I did,
Yeah,
because
that's-
what we're saying is it's updated. We received it from the ministry. They want to know if we support it or we don't.
Yeah, that's what
So it is a matter of a motion to support.
It's not the best thing in the world, but
Yeah, right, it's a starting point and revisable. So, ready for the question? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. We're down to the annual tax exemption bylaw. Councillor Wershagen.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As my wife is the president of the Central Valley Child Care Society, I prefer to remove myself from here as a perceived conflict of interest.
You're right. Okay, thank you. Now, as you know, there are certain things that are exempt by community charter, and there are other items that are requested. So we have the request of the individual tax exemptions. Can we have a motion for the annual tax exemption bylaw, the 9 exemption applicants to be included? Councillor Smith, Councillor Wires. And discussion. Question, all those in favor? Opposed? You voted in favor by not voting?
correct.
Okay.
I've always just got
Tricky, but I got it. Okay, we're on to information items.
Excuse me, Your Worship, can we get Councillor Wershagen back in Council?
Oh, sorry.
yeah. They won't.
Just moving right ahead here. Okay, we are on information items. Thank you. Oh, first of all, a motion to accept as we decide on these items, Councillor Smith, Councillor Doherty. Thank you note from the Good Sam Club promoting City Park Campground. Good news. Nice to be appreciated. Federal electoral boundaries, advising of the proposed changes to the boundaries, received for information. Nephelometer, report from Jordan Andrews through the Environment Committee for the summer, received for information. Correspondence from the Fall Fair, offering the city the opportunity to do a wagon tarp as we did in 2011 with the city's logo on it and other items. This is a sponsor's wagon. The tarp is a sponsor in the amount of $500. Councillor Wershagen?
I would like to make that motion.
And a seconder for that, Councillor Kendall. Any discussion?
Is a member of council actually going to be operating the wagon?
We didn't get asked the last year, but I would volunteer you with. I'm not sure what that arrangement is.
You're obviously the most qualified.
Okay, ready for the question here on this? This is to support the Fall Fair
Your
tarp.
worship.
Yes.
Just what's the tarp?
It goes on the wagons that they race, the miniature horses.
Oh, it's just like a banner?
Well, it's a truck wagon.
Oh, okay, I got
And
you.
then somebody drives the little
Yeah.
tiny horses.
And then we have miniature people show up.
Miniature people. My family's dwarf, by the way. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you from the city at the airport during the 20th, July 20th storm. It's a correspondence from, I'm sorry, I missed Dawn. My computer just did the job. I'm sorry. This is a little thing in my computer.
A virus?
It does this. How many times has this done this to me? That's. Thank you, Bob. Okay, it's back. All right. No wonder it didn't work. I really gotta apologize for this. This is horrible.
Behind
You
you.
like a hard copy?
Yeah. Okay, let's do it. Move on that kilometer. Correspondence from the Fall Fair. Don Brown, that's where we left off, thanking for the city and the assistance at the airport on July 20th. The 90th anniversary time capsule. A recommendation that we open the capsule at the September 4th regular meeting. Anyone have any difficulty with that, Councillor Smith?
Well, I just sent something out, suggest maybe we do a little more public venue, maybe GFI or something like that. But I hadn't heard anything, I hadn't had any comments back on that.
Right. I don't know whether it would fit with the GFI in terms
No, I
of
think it
drawing attention to it. If we advertise it in advance, and we should get some people that turn up for it here. Message from Highways advising the Columbia River Crossing Project at Colville. Grand Forks Fall Fair Parade, September the 8th at 10 a.m. Councilors that are attending that? Okay, well, more participation the better.
Do we have a float?
a wagon.
No, we don't.
We have a chart.
We do have the Woodworkers Guild though that are completing the stagecoach, and they'll be putting that in the parade. I'm not sure who's glorified with the riding on that, but we can check into that with them.
You think Irene's a pretty marshal?
Yeah. Okay.
Your Worship, we're just going to have to know whether we have to register council as an entry in that parade because their deadline is, I believe it was on the 18th, and we've actually advised them that we wouldn't get an answer till tonight. In previous years, we have had some sort of float.
The city truck.
Wayne's always put together a nice.
Well, our public works staff have generally put something together for council.
They're going to find electric bike.
So does council wish that?
Yeah.
They've got a short time frame for the city to get something together.
Go off behind that truck lane.
I did, Bob, did you say you would be in town?
No, I'll be
I'll be out
there.
of town as well.
And I'm already on another float.
Okay, and I'm going to try and get on the stagecoach, but
Okay, I'll get up there with you.
Okay.
okay. Let's see what we can do with the Woodworkers Guild
Okay.
in terms of
So
getting council on that
we will tell
stagecoach.
public works staff not to worry about it then as we've got less
It's a
council.
lot to ask them to do at this point.
Thank you, Worship.
Okay. And can we have a motion to adopt a Lewis's Woodpecker as our city emblem. It
Make that motion.
may be premature, we'll wait, but this was really good news to hear that the efforts that we've made are actually paying off.
Your Worship, I'd just like to comment on that too. Les actually made a suggestion that staff could actually enhance the habitat for them by cutting a plate out of the thing, excavating a hole, sticking the plate back on, and drilling a hole in it. And that way the nest is already made for them, because the Lewis woodpecker, they have a hard time excavating that. That wood is a little too dense for them. So if we pre-make the nest, basically, and make it look natural, it would enhance it.
Is this recommended by our
Yes, it is. It's
in-house
Well, I talked to Jenny.
biologist?
Yep, Jenny Coles-Hill. She was really pleased to hear that idea. And I even got a picture of how that works, like a diagram on just, what you would do. And this was given to me by Les.
Okay, that's a good suggestion. All right, the UBCM gas tax works fund payment, received for information. Green Communities, thanking the city for its commitment to the BC Climate Action Charter, received for information. And the final item is the July 23rd task list. Can we have a motion to adopt those as, will we have a motion on the floor? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. The next item is bylaw number 1931, which is a road closure bylaw, first, second, and third reading. We're looking for this bylaw. Can I have a motion to first reading bylaw number 1931? Seconder Garrett, Councillor Smith, all those in favor. Second reading, Councillor Wershagen, Councillor Kendall, all those in favor. Third reading, Councillor Wires, Councillor Krog, all those in favor. I'm getting tongue-tied tonight. Okay, and the next item is the bylaw number 1937, which is the residential garbage collection rates and regulations. We have first, second, and third reading on this bylaw as well. First reading on bylaw number 1937.
I'll move first reading.
Councillor Doherty, Councillor Smith. All those in favor? Second reading, Councillor Kendall, Councillor Smith. All those in favor? Third reading, Councillor O'Doherty, Councillor Smith. All those in favor? Let's get some hand action there, Councillor Crowe.
Yeah, I still have issues. I know it's good. I just still have concerns that may not be everything that we want it to be. So I'm passively voting for that.
Okay, bylaw 1940, City of Grand Forks campground fees. And we are at this point in time recommending three readings of bylaw 1940 on the campground fees. Can I have first reading? Councillor Wires, Councillor Smith. All those in favor? Second reading, Councillor O'Doherty, Councillor Wershagen. All those in favor? And third reading, Councillor Kendall, Councillor Krog. All those in favor? Thank you. And we have no light items, and we are asking for comments from the public. Sir. Good evening.
Worship, councillors, my name is Nigel James. I've got a couple of comments. Firstly, my apologies. Last time I spoke to you, I had about a list of 11 things which I said I've reduced to writing. I'm a very slow typist. I will do it, and I will produce the list in due course, and then you'll be able to think about things. One of the things that would have been covered was the subject of roundabouts, which I mentioned. For instance, a little bit of anecdotal information. There was a village called Barford in Warwickshire. In the centre of Barford there are two, there's a main road and a side road coming in. It's a crossroads. The buildings surrounding it are all are at least 500 years old. The streets are narrow. There is a roundabout in the centre of that intersection. And the roundabout consists of a white dot, big dot, in the centre of it. And the signs say give way to people already on the roundabout. It works. You don't need to construct anything. A white dot is sufficient to indicate that that's where the roundabout is. And I won't go through a list of places. However, 2nd Street and 72nd Avenue is ideal for a white dot. Likewise, Market Street and 2nd Street, Market Avenue, beg your pardon, and 2nd Street again. As for the road down to Interfor, I'll leave that one separately. There are many other ones where you could build roundabouts, and if you want to build a roundabout, all you need to do is have a pitcher's mound, as in the GFI, just to indicate where. The last thing lorries, trucks want to do is go over a big bump. I've got a list here. I won't bother. I'll reduce it to writing or where suggested where we can have many roundabouts and get rid of those damn stop signs because it keeps traffic going. Comments have been made about where you can't see. Generally, if you can't see in this roundabout, what happens is people go really slowly. If you've got vision, you can see anybody around and you can go through faster. So where you haven't got vision, people slow up. That's just a thought. The other important point is the Terry Fox. The Terry Fox run, I prefer to call it the Terry Fox event. Sunday the 16th of September. Go out, cycle, walk, take your dog a walk, use your push chairs, your wheel, your whatever it is. Please take part. And if you, anyway, I'll leave it at that. As for that time capsule, I never thought about it until it raised 90 years of the city. Why not get the schools involved? Because it's a good history lesson for them, and it might fit in with some of their work as well. My thought on that. And also the stagecoach. As far as I know, it seats 4. What they're doing, and if they haven't got any horses suitable for it, well, there are 6 sort of.
They actually have a team of horses. They've set up.
However, I reckon 6 councillors would do far better. I know Councillor Weirs has already spoken for and so on. But just a few thoughts.
Thank you, Nat. Any further from the audience?
I was going to throw a little bit of wrench in your roundabout idea, but I like the white dot. That the wrench was this. There was recently a gas leak, and they closed down the bridge.
Yes.
Yeah.
So 2nd up to the next bridge, that's the bypass route. If you put a structure at that corner, is highways going to let you do that? I mean,
Big
will they have
trucks
something
would
to say
certainly
about it?
have some difficulty,
And the
I
fire
think. I
department
don't
would
know.
too. Just
Yeah.
a dot, that's great. Or maybe a bound. I mean, that would be a traffic calming device too. That'd be good. The other thing was, did you notice that somebody changed the sign with white gravel to Great Borscht at the edge of town? I can see none of you really are sure because nobody's really looked at it, but that sign is a disgrace. I mean, all summer long we drive by there going, what town is this? I can't even read it anymore.
Yeah, I prefer not to look at it.
Well,
Such a disgrace.
The thought has crossed my mind. I'd like to do that just to see if anybody even notices. Really. That's it.
That's,
There
The national
are
flag is
plans
ripped at the fly as well.
to deal with that sign. Unfortunately, that windstorm just put our crews right back. But there are plans to deal with that, and I agree it needs to be dealt with.
right, okay. Mona Matei.
And still speaking as Mona Matei, and the editor of the Boundary Sentinel Online News. One of the things that changed significantly, there was many years ago, some of the council will remember, there was a big grove of trees beside the cemetery, and that grove of trees was hacked and slashed, gone, big open space now. What was there when those trees were there was also a big berm that kept traffic from driving through. My house is situated on the corner of what is called 17th Street and 66th Avenue. 17th Street stops being paved at 66 and becomes a dirt road. Since that berm in the Grove is gone, that's everybody's favorite road, and they don't take their time going down that road. It is like Dust City. My living room windows face that street that is now just a dirt path. My neighbor, who also seems to have an issue with it, has taken to putting a sprinkler on the road occasionally just to keep the dust down. At one point in time, that oil got oiled occasionally, which helped for a period of a few weeks. But it was never this bad because there was a berm there. People couldn't just drive through. I've seen people take that road to go park in their house on 18th Street. I've got to figure why. They couldn't go down another half a block and take a left-hand turn. But the bottom line is there's a lot of people walking along that trail or road. They take their dogs out there. They loose them off their leash, talking about the feces on the way to and from the dog park. But it's public lands and it's not something that people clean up. But certainly there's a danger for people walking. There's a danger for the animals that are out there. There's a danger because there's deer in that area, like significant number of deer. It's a cemetery. Everybody knows that there's lots of deer. And, of course, the constant dust. So I just wanted to raise that as a concern and ask that council consider looking into, hey, a nice berm would work again, right? Like, it doesn't have to be an expensive solution, but something that would at least slow down the vehicle use on that particular piece of property would be nice.
Don't say roundabout.
No roundabout, not there, please.
Comment from Councillor.
Your Worship, I'd actually like to make a motion that we refer this to staff to look at. I know going down there, I saw a garbage truck actually coming out of there, and I was kind of surprised.
And he was going slow speeds. He uses it as a turnabout and spends coffee break down there, and that's fine. But he does go very slowly when he does that, so that's kind of nice.
Your Worship, you're out of the meeting zone at the moment, but I'll see that it gets looked at.
All right, thank you very much.
I don't know if council's aware. We have been trying to plan the Freakers Ball for Halloween, and
yes,
that's the dance troupe as in we.
We are.
And we've just been informed that the Wildlife Hall is no longer available. So I just wanted to raise the issue for public knowledge to consider the idea of a community hall once again at some point in your council's.
We haven't got notice from them formally, but I understood informally that they were asking to be relieved of their responsibility as of October 15th.
October 15th, we're begging them for November 1st, but
yeah.
But they're really, for us to even consider another facility, there's nothing. There's nothing that holds that number of people and is able to.
What happened to
the pavilion? I don't know if it's a public discussion. He has been extremely difficult to deal with. We tried to host it there a year ago, and it was extremely difficult to manage the connotation. So yes, that's a private facility that's available. Yes, there's a lot of ties that go with that. So anyway, it just kind of comes back to that. I know in my discussions with Wendy and Nicole at Community Futures, it's a huge desire of hers as well to see that material. So it might be some interesting project for you.
Yeah.
And in terms of 72nd and 2nd, I just want to agree with, especially Councillor Shagan, when you talk about the disability, it's really poor, and you have to almost be in the middle of the street in order to do a right-hand turn. So even the parking space issue is something to be explored. And a roundabout would be great. Thank you.
Thank you. That's it? No further comments? Can we have a motion to go, just a moment. Avi.
Sorry, my name is Avi Silverstein. And I just wanted to just put it out there that if you want to either open up the time capsule at the library or even just display it at the library, we'd be happy to have a little setup for you guys. So be in touch. Like that.
Thanks, Avi. Okay, a motion to go in camera. Councillor Smith, Councillor Doherty. All those in favor? We are in camera. We'll have to